Hello, my name is Michael Fregoso, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Parduba 5 mouthpiece. But before I start in my review, I'm going to talk a bit about the history of the Parduba company. It was founded by John Parduba in 1915 when he started making custom mouthpieces. A couple years later, in 1918, he opened up his original shop in New York where he started making custom trumpets and cornets. In the early 30s, he decided to move shop to a different place in New York, where a couple years later, in 35, he introduced the double cup mouthpiece that he is now famous for. The double cup mouthpiece remained relatively unknown until someone named Harry James decided to pick one up and start playing on it in 1938. After that, many other name players also used this mouthpiece here, along with Louis Armstrong, who joined the club, according to Parduba, in 43. Somewhere in this time span, Parduba stopped making horns and switched exclusively to mouthpieces due to the success that they brought in. Now on to the mouthpiece itself. This is the Parduba 5 here. A little bit hard to see with the reflection. Sorry for all of the reverse text. But anyways, so this is approximately equivalent to a Bach 10.5C. And, of course, here's the most interesting feature, the pronounced double cup, which is, in most mouthpieces, it's just not nearly as pronounced. Usually it's just more of a little rounding on the bottom of the main cup. But this larger double cup means that there can be almost a lead-style rim, or a lead-style cup, I should say, along with a much larger cup underneath it, so that while you still have all of the high notes, you also get the fullness, or most of the fullness, and low notes of a standard cup mouthpiece. And here's a little diagram that I drew up to demonstrate the difference between a standard, a lead, and a double cup mouthpiece. So I apologize for the flipped text, but here we go. We have the lead in the orange outline along with the standard on this side and the double on this side. So you can see where the lead rim or the lead cup is, along with where the secondary cup is for the fullness of sound. And it's also a much flatter rim, so it's easier for the upper register, like a lead piece. But it's also slightly more rounded than a lead piece, so it does have moderate flexibility in the lower range. And then another attribute of the double cup design is that, as you saw on my diagram, it doesn't have very much room in the cup itself. So it requires much less air than lots of standard mouthpieces do. But that also means that it's rather easy to overblow. And it's also very bright tone, so the combination of those two factors means that I don't usually use it for, say, a band solo or an orchestral solo. I usually use a 1.5B for that. But anyways, this mouthpiece is much better for the jazz and commercial spectrum of playing, but still can be used as an all-around mouthpiece, assuming you don't need to get too mellow with it. But it is a nice middle ground between a classical mouthpiece and a lead mouthpiece. And so, now that I have done that, thank you for your time. But now I would like to discuss why I think a 5mm mouthpiece would benefit me. Currently, as I said, I play on the Parduba 5 and a 1.5B for different reasons. But I would like to, especially going into college for music, I'm graduating in a couple weeks. But anyways, I would like a tailor-fit mouthpiece for me because while both of the mouthpieces that I'm using now work well enough, there are a couple things that I'm not quite happy with in each of them. So I would like to experiment and see what I can do to get better. And I feel like if I had just one mouthpiece and it was made specifically for me, I could be a much better player than I am and go much farther than I can right now.